Good afternoon, everybody. I am Abim Tarikul Islam. I'm from Faculty of Engineering and IT. My major is Telecommunication Engineering. First of all, I would like to thanks to my professor for giving me this research assignment. My research assignment is about the survey of MMTC, which is Massive Machine Type Communication, like machine-to-machine type communication in 5G. This is my presentation outline. Now I'm going to describe about the introduction of machine-to-machine type communication, some key features, architectures, and component of M2M communication, network optimization application, objective of M2M communication, and some future research area of M2M communication in 5G. These slides I want to say about 5G technology. What is 5G technology? The fifth generation portable innovation is 5G innovation. The industry affiliation 3GPP characterizes any framework utilizing 5G new radio program as 5G. 5G portable innovation has changed the implies to utilize cell phones inside exceptionally very high bandwidth. The speed of 5G is more higher than the previous generations technology like 3G. Now I'm going to describe about machine-to-machine type communication. What is M2M communication? Machine-to-machine type communication or M2M communication is precisely because it sounds like two or more communicating machines or information exchanges without human middle or involvement. This incorporates an industrial Internet of Things, serial connection, power line association, and wired or wireless interaction. The most component of an M2M framework incorporates sensor, radio frequency identification, Wi-Fi or cellular mobile interaction link, and autonomic computing programmed modified to assist a organization, devices information, and makes choices. The distributing machine sending out stock data or ATM machine getting authorization to cash out is an example of M2M communication. These slides shows key features of M2M communication. Low mobility. M2M devices has very infrequently movement. These devices does not move. If it does move, then it were inside a certain region. Time control. Send and obtain information only during certain period of time. Time tolerant. In M2M communication, the transfer of data may be postponed. Packet switch. In M2M network administration to supply packet exchange benefit with or without an MSISDN. Observing. M2M do not propose to anticipate vulgarity or vandalism but give functionality to identify the occasions. Low power consumption. The power consumption is very less in M2M communication in addition to progress the capacity of the framework for compelling administration. Online little data transmission. MTC gadgets habitually sends or get little amount of data in. Now, evolution of M2M communication. Signaling to exchange data have been used in wired communication devices since the early 20th century. In 1968, the first concept of Theodore Paraskevoukas M2M devices are combining communication and computing. It was printed in 1973 at US. In 1977, Paraskevoukas planned automatic meter reading for electrical, which are smart grid and smart meter. In 1995, Siemens Company built up cellular M2M communication connect to the IP framework using ports DSL cable. In 2004, one of the primary versatile virtual network administration within the M2M space. In 2010, M2M location by AT&T KPN incorporated to serve as a zone. In 2013, M2M organized benefit suppliers, Chorus Telematics, Prophet Digi Worldwide, Warbicom, and Telit shape the Worldwide M2M Council IMC. Now, M2M communication in 5G. It is anticipated that in 2020, the full number of connected devices will be around 50 billion, which is nearly doubled from today. 5G innovation ought to be able to support large amount of wireless devices that are getting to be utilized within the IoT. Actually, the improvement of 5G advances would have to be take this key figure under consideration separated from the upgrades right now being proposed for LTE framework. Based on the advertised activity and future range prerequisites work done, M2M communications is considered to be key component in future framework. The conceivable advancement of MBB from IMT 2000 and IMT 2020 and past, based on the suspicion that the activity prerequisites would be expanded by the more time over the following decades. The former Foremost necessary requirements for M2M communication in 5G framework as now being examined are most allowable end-to-end latency, including jitter lower than 5 milliseconds, and reliability. 5G technology ought to be able to connect in between the user gear. M2M regularly implement open system to diminish the cost. M2M communication in now the market development of 5G mobile services with M2M apps. Concluding to the most recent around the world showcase considered by Juniper investigate the overall number of cellular M2M association will reach 1.3 billion by 2022. That is 220% increment from the assessed 400 million in 2017. The modern investigation found that developing cellular system counting IoT, LTE-M, and 5G will develop together to account for fair beneath 10% of all cellular M2M associations by 2022. Mobile organized administrations are presently racing to supply the underlying connectivity for the future high development of the expected M2M association impelled on by the rising utilized case. Now I am going to describe about the targets or objective of M2M communication in 5G. Decrease latency. Maximum allowable end-to-end latency counting jitter or retransmit lower than 5 milliseconds. Protected communication. Numerous individual or private information which must not be accessed, adjusted or supplemented by unauthorized individual will be secured. Increment the number of connected devices. Concluding to the foremost letter around the world Grandmaster considered by Juniper examine the in general number of cellular M2M affiliation will reach 1.3 billion by 2022. Lower energy consumption. Energy efficient could be one of the major prerequisites in M2M communication framework. Objective is lower energy consumption, whereas expanding independent resources allocation of MTC devices availability. Network coverage, network access could be anytime, any places. Ensure interoperability. It ensured that interoperability of expensive and assorted mechanical improvement in super connected world with associated individual and gadgets. This slide shows architecture of M2M communication. M2M devices. Devices able to answering to ask for information containing inside such system or capable autonomously transmitting information. The endpoint of M2M application are sensor and interaction devices. M2M device domain. Given network between M2M devices and M2M gateway, that is individual range organized. Gateway of M2M. Here, the hardware that implement M2M capabilities to guarantee M2M devices interworking and interconnection with the interaction network. Portal and routers are the endpoint of the operator's network in the scenario where sensors are and M2M devices don't interface specifically to the arrange. Network domain. M2M communication network cover connection between the M2M gateway and M2M application, for example, XDSL, LTE, WiMAX, and WLAN. Application domain. This domain consists of middleware layer where information goes through different operation administration and is utilized by the particular business processing. Now, architecture of M2M communication in 5G. M2M device domain. The challenge of massiveness has activated the improvement of unused wireless advances for this communication worldview, particularly within the M2M devices space. The main objective is the improvement of framework that can be back a gigantic number of low-cost devices disseminated in a wide region that will devour ultra-low control and will bolster different sport of administration. For example, ITS system, e-healthcare, electric vehicle, smart city, etc. M2M communication domain. In 5G, NodeB is in M2M communication domain. It communicates with user equipment. M2M server domain. User equipment control station referred to this domain. This slide shows the component of M2M communication. In the core network, 3GPP, ETSI, ATTM, NGN, and M2M area in M2M area network PLC, SRT, UWT, Zigbee, MBus, and XDSL hybrid fiber coaxial PLC satellite UTRAN, YLAN, WiMAX is in the access network. Now, some differences between M2M and IoT. Machine-to-machine structure that permits to associated devices to communicate with the centralized concocted that screen and control its operation consequently and without human involvement. But in IoT, introduced to the ever omnipresent Internet of Things, where Internet of Things refer to information creating and transmitting devices that are associated to each other over the Internet. In M2M, no need to connect internet, but in IoT must be connecting internet. M2M is a vertical operation, but IoT is an horizontal operation. M2M is hardware-based communication, but IoT is software-based communication. M2M devices are essentially one-to-one communication system, but IoT is multi-communication system. Machines are the example of M2M communication system. Sensors are the example of IoT communication. This slide shows difference between M2M and D2D. M2M is a communication without involving human interaction. Device-to-device communication provide to a sort of innovation that empowered devices to communicate specifically with each other without communication framework such as gates to focus, access point, or base station. Main target of M2M communication is data interchange among machine. Main target of D2D is elevation and nearby communication. In M2M, generally many number of device. In D2D, two or few number of device. Machines are the example of M2M, and Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and are the example of D2D communication. Network optimization of M2M communication. Optimization of huge bunches of devices in a bunch basis. Optimization is energy saving of cellular network, expanding energy effectiveness in network of LTE energy, and delay execution of M2M network. Now, application of M2M communication in 5G. The application of M2M communication in 5G is huge in manufacturing, industrial area, telemedicine, traffic control, automotive security, robotics, billing. We use the M2M communication. The application of M2M communication are also in security system, tracking, payment, health, remote maintenance, metering, manufacturing, facilities management, smart grid, and in automobile sector. M2M communication in smart grid and home networking. In smart grid, the smart grid is described as an electrical grid specially intended to improve power transmission effectiveness, improve service quality for utility consumer, and decrease the financial and environmental cost of generating, distributing, and consuming electricity. The dispersed nature of an electric grid, the sensors needed to aggregate data about consumption, and the different level of decision making that makes M2M principle relevant to intelligent grid in particular. The smart grid is therefore considered one of the most powerful driving forces for M2M communication. Home networking. Home networking's primary aim is media distribution, but home networking may also include smart grid component. Media distribution technologies include media storage, media transportation such as Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, ultra-wideband, smartphone, tablet, computer. As M2M network, home networking is presently receiving considerable attention. Future research area of M2M. M2M in smart grid, M2M in electric vehicle technology, M2M battery life optimization, M2M communication in medical sciences, efficient PLV utilizations are the future research area of M2M. Now, the conclusion. M2M is one of the promising research that offer alternatives for the lots of smart thing implementation. In my research assignment, I tried to describe all about the MT, MMTC in 5G technology. Here, I tried to provide about the architecture feature application of M2M communication in 5G. M2M as an application holds the guarantee of bringing advantage of both telecom administration and vendors. For benefits supplied, it is an opportunity to low bandwidth M2M administration can be promptly overlaid onto the current client administration arrange. Finally, I analyzed the remaining challenges facing smart grid and home networking M2M framework. It increasing machine and smart device connectivity, multiplication of IoT application pathway to the longer term IoT. The most noteworthy challenge is the standardization of communication interfacing in a range with exceedingly tall, versatile, and changeability of components. Thank you, everybody. Thanks to